As one looks at the perpetual motion machine, this can be applied to between people as well. As Russia does the attack, then there are counterattacks. In order to stop this back and forth, a, a, an outside force has to begin to slow this process down.
This is what happened in a Black Lives Matter march. Back of May 2020, I was at a Utah Capitol march with Black Lives Matter. You will note, first of all, that you see the police lined up on the wall. And before this happened, these 3 police officers were up also in the line up on the wall. And the Black Lives Matter people were chanting. I came up with my speaker on my backpack, as you can see. I'm the one to the left. And when I came up, I was playing some patriotic songs and some other songs as well. This is when magic happened with the power of music. These 3 police officers came down from the line and started talking to the Black Lives Matter. This occurred because after the music started, the chanting stopped. So this story continues. In the beginning of this video, after I start playing it, you will hear me talking to a police officer. He came around kind of slowly and walked up to me. I was having troubles with my speaker to play the more music. But I want to pre-emphasize that when I talked about I was at the march the other Saturday, I also had speakers playing good music. I would walk up to people and start asking them questions. And I also was holding a sign that said all the things that were occurring on both sides. How many divorces, how many bankruptcies, how many suicides. And I thought that my sign was kind of related to police. I'm sure that they don't get paid that much. And the Black Lives Matter. But when I walked up at the other Saturday, when I mentioned, I walked up to them and people were yelling. And I held my sign. It talked about how many daily amounts of those problems I was talking about. I would walk up and say, hey, what's the beef? And I knew with the power of music that I had, it would give the calming effect. And plus me just walking up to people and say, hey, especially those who are yelling, hey, what's really bothering you? It's amazing how much they calm down.
Like I said, yeah, wrong. Other people don't want to hear that. Yeah, we on both sides. Just calling out wrong. That's what I'm saying. Communication. Let's get back to the point. Yeah, I was there Saturday. I walked out to some people who were angry. I just listened to them. What do they say? 5 most important words to tell me about yourself. And it's amazing how they calm down. Anyhow, I appreciate it.
Discussions that are happening aren't easy discussions, but people have to start having these discussions. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, like I said, I don't know if you heard everything I told her, but I said I'll be doing a disservice to the people I stand up here with that risk their lives for me, and I do the same to have my back. If something happened, if I just spoke on one side, and I'd be doing a disservice to my family, my mother who raised me, if I just went on this side. You understand? But we have to start having these hard discussions. You ask me, or I say I'm not from Utah, so I'm not going to blast out where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to blast out where I'm from, but in my life experience, I've seen stuff that why people are saying against police brutality and everything like that. But the reason I got into this field is because I know there are good people, and I want to be. There wasn't a whole lot of positive minority role models in law enforcement when I was growing up. So if I could make one child, black, white, Hispanic, no matter what, feel safer because I'm in this uniform, then that's why I do it. That's why I did it, to be a positive, to be another positive role model, to look like other than an athlete, other a teacher, law enforcement. Like I'm not here. I wouldn't be in this uniform if I felt that the people I work with and stuff like that were wrong or did anything. I haven't seen anything. People are asking us questions about stuff that happened in Salt Lake. But you see, we've been here the whole time. We're on the Capitol, we're not in Salt Lake. So you just gotta have these hard discussions to come together, because like you gotta understand, you want us to show unity with YouTube, with you guys, but when everybody keeps on saying F the police, that's separating yourself just as same. So everybody's saying come against this, come from behind this line, like when I say the majority of people are here for the right reason, yes, but the ones that aren't, I'm not, you see it, everything that's going on in Las Vegas, African-American police captain in St. Louis got killed.
There's so much pain.
It's
So much
Now, getting back to the world situation between emotions of hate or goodwill, we have this perpetual machine, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Russia does an attack, and then that's the hate action, and then in return, the world reacts to that, and then it just keeps going back and forth as such, and until the momentum just creates havoc on our world. Unless there is a outside energy to change the momentum of this perpetual machine. And like I mentioned before, it's all about music, listening, and changing the momentum. Those two items can create a new energy in which we create perpetual emotions that are not that of friction and hate. To do this, May 20th, the first day of spring, we should have a complete airwaves dedicated to peace. Leaders of around the world and also within our nation should speak at the first day of spring to talk about the goodwill energy that we are all created in the image of whoever you want to say we are created to. That no matter who we are in our backgrounds, political, Trump supporter or Biden, capitalist or communist, or any of the religions, we should form a new Council of 12 like I drew up before. And we should all speak at the same day of the first day of spring, and speak out for peace and create this new Council of 12. At the same time, we will speak out and say we're going to have a listening tour all over the world, starting that day of March 20th, which is the first day of spring. And with it, we're going to have music to go with it. And different warring sides will create their own bands with music. And they can communicate that way. And so when the two sides meet, we're not facing at each other, the perpetual machine, but with each other. This way, the power of music, we can through music give our strife as such. So we should set up speakers in Ukraine, Russia, Moscow, Palestinian territories, Israel territories, and just pipe in the music everywhere. Syria, China. Let's exchange bands between the two warring sides. This will be the outside force that will change this momentum of action hate and reaction hate back. That's what we need to do on March 20th, the first day of spring. And that's my opinion of what we should do with the outside forces. Let's come together through music and through listening. Not counter arguments, just listening. That's it. It's just as simple as that. That's how we can bring peace. The end. Or should I say, not the end, but to be continued with hope. That's it. We landed a man on the moon by the end of the 1960s decade. That was a result from the Kennedy speech on May 25th, 1961. We shall land a man on the moon, not because it will be easy, it will be hard. Well, the same thing can be said of all these speeches around the world on first day of spring, we shall greatly reduce hate by the end of the 2020 decade. And it won't be easy, it shall be hard, but together we can do this. And that's what the world speakers of around the world should advocate. From this, it will take 10 years, or less, it'll take 10 years, or less than 10 years, we all work together. We're competing for space and landing a man on Mars. Together, we could do that if only we reduce the hate by 10 years. It'll be a nice, good, wonderful, to be continued with hope goal. And that's where we can change this momentum of the perpetual hate machine. And that's the beginning of hope.